What if the reason so many men feel alone today has nothing to do with being alone? Think about this for a moment. Right now, millions of men have coworkers, families, social media, and people around them every day, and yet many of them still feel deeply isolated. Not just occasionally lonely, but quietly disconnected from the world around them. And here's the strange part. This feeling has been growing over the past few decades. In fact, psychologists have been noticing a pattern. More and more men are reporting that they have fewer close friends than ever before. So what changed? How did we go from a world full of friendships to a world where so many men feel like they're dealing with life completely alone? Psychology suggests there are 4 hidden reasons this is happening, and the third one is the one almost nobody talks about. Let's start with the first reason. The first reason is something psychologists call friendship drift. When men are young, friendships happen naturally. School creates shared environments. You see the same people every day. You spend hours together without even thinking about it. Friendships grow automatically. But adulthood quietly destroys that structure. Work becomes demanding, people move away, schedules become busy, and suddenly, maintaining friendships requires effort. The problem is, many men were never taught how to maintain friendships intentionally. So instead of actively rebuilding those connections, friendships slowly fade away. Not because anyone dislikes each other, but because life simply moves on. Now here's where things get more interesting. The second reason is something called emotional silence. From a young age, many men receive a subtle message about emotions. Handle your problems yourself. Stay strong. Don't talk too much about what you're going through. This message isn't always spoken directly, but it appears everywhere, in culture, in expectations, in the way men watch other men behave. Over time, many men develop a habit. When something difficult happens, they deal with it privately. Instead of talking about stress, they internalize it. Instead of asking for help, they try to solve everything on their own. From the outside, this can look like strength, but internally, it often creates distance. Because when people stop sharing what they're going through, they slowly start feeling disconnected from others. But here's where the psychology becomes even more surprising. The third reason loneliness among men has increased is something called digital substitution. Modern technology allows people to communicate constantly. Texts, messages, online communities. But here's the problem. The human brain evolved for face-to-face connection. Eye contact, body language, shared experiences in the same physical space. Digital communication replaces some of those interactions, but it doesn't fully replace the emotional connection behind them. You can send messages all day and still feel disconnected. And when real-world interaction slowly decreases, loneliness quietly grows. But the fourth reason might be the most powerful of all. It's something psychologists call identity pressure. Many men tie their sense of self strongly to responsibility, providing, solving problems, handling pressure. Over time, life becomes centered around work and obligations. Days become structured around tasks, deadlines, responsibilities. And while these things are important, they often leave little room for deep relationships. Years pass, and many men suddenly realize something surprising. Their social world has become much smaller than it once was. But here's the insight that changes everything. Loneliness isn't simply about being alone. It's about feeling understood. A person can be surrounded by people and still feel isolated if they don't feel emotionally connected. And for many men, the habits they developed to stay strong and independent can unintentionally create distance from others. But there's something important to remember. Loneliness is not a weakness. It's a signal that the mind is asking for deeper connection. And understanding that signal is often the first step toward changing it. Because the truth is, human beings were never designed to carry the entire weight of life alone. If this perspective made you think differently about loneliness, you're not the only one. Millions of men experience this feeling, but rarely talk about it. And sometimes, simply understanding the psychology behind it is the first step toward reconnecting with the people around us. If you enjoy exploring the hidden psychology behind human behavior, make sure to subscribe and like. Because sometimes the most important discoveries are the ones that help us understand each other better.